Welcome everybody from whatever part of the world you're in. I would like to give a discourse on the tree of life that connects all cultures in the world. So we're here by a riverbank. This is Rena's backyard here. We're always connected to nature, and this is the essence of what we're going to talk about. So this lecture on Christmas is also about Buddhist celebration, Islamic, and all cultures, because what essentially connects everyone is the living mathematics of nature. But today we're going to look through the lens of the Qaballah and how the tree of life, their map of the cosmos, connects the above and the below. So what I would like to do is take you on a journey of the tree of life. They generally have 10 spheres. So this base one here, Malkuth, is the earth energy, and the crown, number 1, is the heavens, and all this is a pathway. We got 10 spheres. So when we talk about a sphere, we're talking about crystalline matrix or energy. So these are what stores codes and knowledge. So every sphere is an energy packet. So what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly look at the connection between them all. I have here a poster that shows a traditional tree of life, and if you look closely, there's a being here, man, woman. So this tree of life is actually the map within our being. So there's a zigzag. You start from heaven, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here we have that lightning bolt, and the lightning bolt is an expression of cosmic energy. I was going to show you that pathway on our board here. So we start from the Kether. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we come back to here. When we look at this energy here, this is the earth plane. So everything above the earth is about before we even incarnate. So this is about incarnation. So everything, all these spheres relate to our etheric double. This is our etheric double. These is got to do with our spirit bodies and the soul. So the tree of life is divided into 5 levels. So this level here is the human, the body, the Assiah. The next one here is the animal self. This is before we decide to take a body and incarnate. Then we have here the ego. This level here is all about the Briah, and that's conquering the ego, the lower self. Then we get to an essential self, the Atziluth, and then ultimately when we get to this plane, it's called merging with the divine. So these are the 5 levels, but they also have 3 other layers where we have to go through a veil. Then we have to go through a wall, and finally, to get to the crown, you have to go through what's called an abyss. So the 11th sphere, there's 10 around it, but this one here is actually invisible. So that's called the Dart, or Darth, like Darth Vader, and Darth, it means knowledge. So I believe that this point here is an implosion point. So the tree of life had 3 pillars, 1, 2, 3, which is like the Sushumna. This is the central channel where we breathe through. We have the left, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So this is a map of the cosmos, and what it really is, it's multi-dimensional knowledge and codes. So the crown is the spirit, the highest level of our spiritual body, and they called it the Adam Kadmon. The Adam Kadmon comes from the word Adam, in Arabic means the blood. So this is how our DNA is connected to the light codes, and as we learn our many lessons in other multi-dimensions, we bring all our gifts into this earth plane. So what that means is you could have lived a life in India where you were a master of the sitar. So when you're born down here in Malkuth, or the kingdom, you actually remember all your gifts from all your other lifetimes on all the other planets. So really this is like a solar system. This is a beautiful system that we can actually see in our field. So the reason why we love symbols is that we're all, in our human condition, we're seeking connection with the divine, and because the divine is so mysterious and multidimensional, we need symbols like spheres and geometries, which is the language of light, so that we can comprehend the incomprehensible. So what I would like to do is I'd like to bring this back to what we all relate to about the tree. We're coming to this understanding of why do cultures all around the world celebrate this cosmic tree, because we know that trees have seeds, and this little seed, whether it's an acorn that becomes a giant oak or this small pine cone seed that makes a giant pine tree, is that the small seed has compressed all the knowledge of the macrocosm that it's going to become. So that's why we talk about as above, so below, that the tree is a sacred symbol for ecosophy, because now as we emerge into a technological world, we must remember our connection to nature. So the tree is our symbol. So this is going to be the top of the tree, this point here at Keter, which means the crown. And we're going to look at the connection between, say, these two spheres here and this one here. If you look closely, what's below 1, 2, 3, 4, if you look closely, that is actually an inverted tetrahedron. So the point from 1, 2, 3, that's actually an inverted tetrahedron. And if you look even closer again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those 6 actually are the shadows of the cube. So when we look at a hexagon, we're really seeing a cube and the icosahedrons, because the shadow of this icosahedron is these 6 spheres connected to the 7. And that's a molecule called carbon-7, which is used in technology. So we have to make the right use of technology to succeed. So to conclude this and bring it back to what we understand called ecosophy, I'm going to look at this astral triad. So this planet here is Venus, number 7, Netzach. Netzach is about endurance. It's our perseverance to keep continuing with our soul lesson. So this is like the artist or the musician that's striving to express their soul. So that's Venus, which is about beauty. Now we connect it to here, which is Hod, and Hod means majesty. So Hod, which is ruled by Mercury. So you can see here I've got like the symbol of Mercury. Mercury is all about intellect and knowledge and mathematics and philosophy. So for us to reach the crown, we need to make this triad between Venus, Mercury, Netzach and Hod, and we're going to connect it down to this Yesod here, because that's the tetrahedron. Yesod is ruled by the moon. So this means for us to be part of an ascension process, we have to have our emotions under check. So this field here is all about our emotional body, how we have to learn just to love unconditionally, not to react and get angry and do horrible things. So this is all about keeping in check our emotional balance before we incarnate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the connection between the crown, Netzach and Hod, and we're going to bring this energy down. We're going to create a vortex. So I will use another color here. So this is a golden light. So I'm going to start from the crown, and we're learning to bring this energy down from the above and into our field, because this energy is without and within. So this is what I call the cosmic tree. You can call it the celestial tree. And it's got this beautiful connection here. And what happens at this point here, the energy can now descend to earth. So this beautiful cone is like a vortex of energy, and by learning how to breathe, how to stay healthy, how to be kind, loving kindness, which is what the Netzach is all about, or the Hesed over here. This is Jupiter. By having loving kindness and claiming our own power, we become like magicians, like the high priestess. We learn how to harness the energy that is in the field all the time, that is around us. So that's why I like to talk about the Christmas tree, because in a way, by honouring this tree of knowledge and the tree of life, we recognise that this ancient knowledge is all without and within us.